This is nothing that we take lightly.
President Donald Trump fights back after allegations of abuse of power and a cover-up.
It's another witch hunt. Here we go again.
Today at 5, the role one Utah congressman played in today's hearing in the House.
Last of the gorgeous weather, a major cold front to our north is going to bring in heavy rain and mountain snow. I'll have a breakdown in my forecast.
His similarity to that composite sketch was uncanny.
Police shed new light on how they closed in on a dangerous man and what led to his arrest 30 years into a serial rapist investigation.
I just watched the car going down the salt flats and hit a berm and flew up in the air.
Then the just-released 911 call from a man who would go on to save the driver of this car.
A big and bright new temple for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is coming to Tooele. The impact it will have on its neighbor, coming up.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13's Live at 5.
First on Fox 13, new developments in the inquiry to impeach the president.
Today, the acting director of national intelligence testified on Capitol Hill in the wake of that controversial whistleblower complaint alleging misconduct by President Trump.
Fox's Ray Bogan is in Washington with more.
10 times. That's how often Joseph McGuire described this situation as unprecedented. And during today's 3.5 hours of testimony, he was put on defense.
I was just trying to work through the process and the law the way it is written. I have to comply with the way the law is, not the way some people would like it to be.
The acting director of national intelligence explained his decision to bring the complaint to the White House and Justice Department before Congress.
So you went to the subject of the complaint for advice first.
If it does have executive privilege, it is the White House that determines that.
But in this case, the White House, the president, is the subject of the complaint.
McGuire's explanation did not satisfy Democrats.
I think what the DNI did was broke the law. The law is very clear.
President Trump responded after returning to D.C. from the United Nations.
What these guys are doing, Democrats are doing to this country, is a disgrace.
The newly released whistleblower complaint says President Trump is, quote, using the power of his office to solicit interference from a foreign country in the 2020 U.S. election. But the whistleblower wrote they are not a direct witness, and the information in the complaint was relayed to them.
The Inspector General found the whistleblower displayed arguable political bias against Trump. So once again, this supposed scandal ends up being nothing like what we were told.
After the hearing in the House, McGuire had a private, closed-door meeting with the Senate Intelligence Committee. In Washington, Ray Bogan, Fox News.
This morning's hearing included Utah's 2nd District Congressman Chris Stewart. Fox 13's Max Roth joins us now with a look at the role he played as the Intelligence Committee questioned the Director of National Intelligence. Max.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. You know, Congressman Chris Stewart never mentioned Ukraine, and he did not talk at all about President Trump. Instead, he gave his time to some friendly questions that did get some of the more passionate answers from the acting Director of National Intelligence.
So, are you motivated by politics in your work or your professional behavior?
No, Congressman.
Okay,
not at all.
I'm just going to leave it there.
I am not. I am not political. I am not partisan. And I did not look to be sitting here as the acting director of national intelligence. I thought that there were perhaps other people who would be best and more qualified to do that. But the president asked me to do this, and it was my honor to step up and for however long I'm doing it, to lead and support the intelligence community.
The Utah congressman had this back and forth with Intelligence Committee Chair Adam Schiff. Stewart saying Schiff attacked the acting director's honor.
He felt compelled by the law to do exactly what he did. And yet the entire tone here is that somehow you're a political stooge who has done nothing but try to protect the president. I just think that's nuts.
No one has accused you of being a political stooge or dishonorable. No one has said so. No one has suggested that.
You've accused him of breaking the law, Mr. Chairman.
But it is certainly our strong view, and we would hope it would be shared by the minority, that when the Congress says that something shall be done, it shall be done. And when that involves the wrongdoing of the president, it is not an exception to the requirement of the statute.
So Stewart involved in a couple of the more emotional moments in the committee hearing. Now, in national press tallies on support or opposition to impeachment inquiries, Stewart and Rob Bishop clearly oppose impeachment. John Curtis is in a minority of Republicans who have said that they want to see more information. And Ben McAdams, the only Democrat from Utah, is one of only 14 Democrats who say they're not yet convinced that it's a good idea. Live in the newsroom, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Max, thank you. Stay with Fox 13 News for continuing coverage of the impeachment inquiry. We'll pass along updates both on air and online, as well as on our social media platforms.
Take it all in because our days are counted when it comes to this comfortable, gorgeous weather.
I know.
Tell us we got one more day.
We have a slight day tomorrow. It's a transition day, so it won't be bad, but we'll have clouds rolling in. It'll start off sunny, end up cloudy. We may even be talking showers by the end of tomorrow. So it won't be like today. It is beautiful out there right now. This is Sundance, and you can see all the green, the blue sky, and just gorgeous. We're going to have snow covering all of that by the time we get into the weekend, thanks to a storm system moving in. Meanwhile, down in Moab, you can see the clouds are increasing here a little bit, but we do have some storms popping up in southern Utah. This is from a totally different system altogether, one that's churning out over Arizona, but it is bringing some showers down into southern parts of the state. Zooming on in, you can see quite a bit of lightning near Capitol Reef as you head towards Bryce Canyon, getting pretty stormy here, all drifting to the south and west, potentially drifting towards the Zion National Park area, though Zion is in the clear right now. And then as we spread the map out a little bit, you can see a few more scattered showers to the east. But it's this front to our north that's going to bring in the sweeping changes that could last for days, tracking rain, snow. I'll have all the details for you coming up in your full forecast.
Police in West Valley City are searching for a missing man. Officers say 59-year-old Wesley Butcher was last seen this morning near 2800 South, 3200 West. They say Wesley is deaf and suffers from mental illness. He was last seen wearing a University of Utah baseball cap, a black shirt, and khaki pants. If you see him, call West Valley City Police.
He killed his girlfriend, Emily Quijano, along with her 3-year-old son, Gabriel, back in 2015. And today, Christopher Polson learned his fate. The sentencing lasted for 2 hours, with more than a dozen family members giving emotional testimony. Emily's son, Gabe, died from injuries Polson says he cannot remember inflicting while he was watching the boy. Then Polson said he panicked and fatally shot Emily in her sleep. Today, Polson apologized to Emily's family before he was sentenced to back-to-back prison terms of 15 years to life.
Seeing Chris go to prison brings me no joy, but it does bring me peace.
Just a mental prison that I can't get out of, and I'll never be released from it.
Emily's family says they have not yet received her and Gabriel's bodies from the medical examiner's office. They say it could take several months.
After a nearly 30-year investigation, police are talking about what led up to the arrest they made last night of the man known as the Clearfield rapist. Fox 13's Aaron Cox joins us live from Clearfield now after speaking with officers who've been investigating this case since the very beginning. Aaron.
And Captain Timothy Scott with Ogden Police remembers being a brand new police officer back in '94 and responding to a sexual assault, a case he's kept with him for the past 25 years.
This file's been within arm's reach of me every office I've moved to.
Dozens of offices with the same file, a cold case for the Clearfield rapist.
I recall, as a patrol officer, a fairly new patrol officer, responding on this sexual assault. It was shocking to me, the level of brutality in this sexual assault. That stuck with me over the years.
The image stuck in his mind was this sketch.
His similarity to that composite sketch was, to me, was uncanny.
Yesterday, Captain Timothy Scott sat face-to-face with the suspect.
There was a feeling and a sense of closure on the case, and I even told the suspect as he exited the room that I likely wouldn't be seeing him again outside the court.
After 25 years of DNA tests and multiple suspect interviews, police were able to find their suspect's half-brother using a DNA family tree. In a matter of weeks, they identified Mark Douglas Burns. While looking for Burns, investigators found assault cases linked to him in Rock Springs, Wyoming, Riverdale City, Ogden, Utah, 4 cases in Clearfield, Utah, 1 in Laramie, Wyoming, and 1 in Layton, Utah.
This case is just beginning now for us. There's a tremendous amount of follow-up investigation that we will need to continue to conduct. As we mentioned, that Mr. Burns is a long-haul truck driver and has had routes in the entire western United States.
Police are asking agencies from across the western United States to check their cold cases for anything that sounds like their suspect. The investigation is far from over, but for Captain Scott, the file in his drawer can close.
Driving home knowing he wasn't going to be in our community any longer, that was actually a pretty good feeling.
Now, police are in very close connection with these victims, and they have said that the victims expressed that they have a lot of mixed emotions with the arrest made yesterday. Police say they are planning on getting together with these victims in the next week or so to discuss possible location that Burns could have been and possible more victims. In Clearfield, back to you, Bob and Kelly.
All right, Aaron Cox reporting there. Thank you. An infant is safe and a couple is in custody after the baby girl's kidnapping prompted an Amber Alert.
Yeah, this all happened last night. South Salt Lake detectives say a Wyoming Highway Patrol trooper stopped the mother, 21-year-old Jasmine Alvarez, right about 1:45 this morning. The baby, 3-month-old Kalia Alvarez Cara, was found unharmed inside the car. Now, that girl's father, 19-year-old Gabriel Brandon Caro, he was arrested last night as well at a hotel in downtown Salt Lake City.
Now the baby Kalia is safe. Authorities are looking into the Amber Alert that went out to many Utah smartphones late last night. It did not say much except to spell out GRYTOYT. Now that's police shorthand for gray Toyota. But there was no context to go along with that. Authorities say alerts are put out by the dispatching agency connected to the individual police department. In this case, it was Valley Emergency Communications, working with South Salt Lake PD. Officials say additional training is needed so better and more accurate public Amber Alerts are issued in the future.
Still to come, a ban on conversion therapy for LGBTQ children in Utah was a hot topic in Salt Lake City today. See what people on both sides have to say.
And how one Ogden school is looking to help children become better readers in a very creative way. We're back in 60 seconds.
You're watching Fox 13 News. Let's connect.
A ban on conversion therapy for LGBTQ children in Utah is now moving closer to passage.
Fox 13's Ben Winslow is live in downtown Salt Lake, where supporters and opponents of the ban went before an administrative law judge today. Ben.
Yeah, this is an administrative rule that targets a therapist's license. It effectively would ban them from using the widely discredited practice of attempting to change a child's sexual orientation or gender identity.
It was a packed hearing for the proposed rule that would ban conversion therapy on LGBTQ youth.
Conversion therapy is ineffective, potentially harmful, and unprofessional.
Traditional moral values are being flushed down the toilet.
Supporters and opponents of the ban lined up to speak, some sharing painful stories of attempting to change their sexual orientation or gender identity.
Week over week, I was stripped of my identity, my dignity.
Conversion therapy it doesn't work. It is harmful. It's been harmful to me. Throughout that process, I attempted suicide. And
I know we can't pray the gay away. I know we can't read the scriptures the gay away.
I believed I was helping people, but the reality is that I was causing harm, enforcing the cycle of confusion and shame.
But opponents of the ban say it infringes on parental rights, freedom of speech, and religion.
Parents looking for help for their questioning child would not have any place to go for help.
The rules as currently stated would forbid that.
After the legislature failed to pass a ban earlier this year, Governor Gary Herbert went around them and directed Utah's Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing to draft rules. The lawmaker who ran the bill to ban conversion therapy hopes it passes as a rule.
If it gets the same thing, if it prohibits conversion therapy in minors, then that's fine with me.
Social conservatives are not ruling out a legal challenge.
It violates the constitutional rights of the therapist and of parents. The parental rights it's all bad.
The rules were approved by recommending boards earlier this year. The public comment is a part of the process.
We're confident that if this rule goes forward as drafted, that we will see a reduction of suicides in our state.
Now, public comment will be taken on the proposed rules until October 15th. If there's no substantial changes, they would go into effect on October 22nd. By the way, Utah's Department of Commerce says that they have received more than 1,300 written comments on this proposed rule change. 85% of those are in support of a ban on conversion therapy in Utah. Live in downtown Salt Lake City, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
A new scam is in the works, this time targeting the Spanish-speaking community. What Rocky Mountain Power says you need to do to stay aware.
This is Fox 13 News.
It's on fire, ma'am. It's on fire. Is anybody inside the vehicle? I can't tell. Are you guys gonna lie? Ma'am, I got a fire extinguisher in my car. I'm gonna run to my car.
Matt, times of panic here. Just scary to see this video. You were listening to the 911 calls from a terrifying moment. This happened on the Salt Flats earlier this week when a man driving on I-80 to Wendover came upon a car engulfed in flames. You see it there. Daniel Lewis was able to pull the driver inside the burning car out before police arrived. Luckily, nobody was hurt in this fire.
Dozens of Utah Rocky Mountain Power customers started receiving a new scam call this morning.
Fox 13's Elle Thomas spoke with the power company to see what people need to be aware of.
Rocky Mountain Power wants all of their customers to be aware of a new scam, this time targeting the Spanish-speaking community.
They count on taking you by surprise.
It's an issue that keeps coming back.
They want to catch you off guard.
Scam calls.
It's a recorded call. It's an automated voice. It's in Spanish.
This time targeting Rocky Mountain Power's Spanish-speaking customers.
Seems centered in Utah right now, about 100 calls or so.
RMP says the call tells the customer they need to pay immediately or their power will be disconnected. It even seems pretty real.
These guys are getting pretty crafty because they're able to spoof the company's customer service number. But the number that they tell you to call is not our customer service number.
But there's one main difference.
We will never ask you to pay immediately over the phone. You're disconnected. People just need to be aware of this kind of scam behavior.
Rocky Mountain Power says if you do believe you've received a scam call, you can always call their actual customer service number that's listed on any of your bills. In Salt Lake City, Elle Thomas, Fox 13 News, Utah.
The location of the new Tooele Valley Latter-day Saint Temple is causing some uncertainty for a business that will be right across the street from the temple.
Yesterday, the church announced the temple will be built off Highway 36 and Erda Road, right at that intersection. Fox 13's Haley Higgins reports the location could not be worse for MotorView Drive-In.
For 70 years, MotorView Drive-In's single movie screen shined bright through the rural landscape.
In Tooele Valley, you have the couple theaters, and that's about it.
They're one of 5 drive-ins left in Utah, trying to survive mega theaters and online streaming. It's right off Highway 36 and will soon be eclipsed by a 3-story, 70,000 square foot Latter-day Saint temple built on this farmland. Mike Booth's family didn't even know about Wednesday's announcement until they went online.
Somebody messaged our site saying, oh crap, are we going to close?
The concern, that screen that's entertained families since 1949 faces what will be a brightly lit house of worship. Too much ambient light, according to Booth, washes out their screen and could ruin the movie experience.
We think that we can reach a compromise if there's going to be any issues.
Booth and his family are staying positive. They're also considering amping up the projection bulb to counteract the temple lighting. No matter what happens, the theater is prepared to persevere.
It's what we've done for the past 70 years, so nothing's closed us yet.
Management thinks they still have a few weeks left of the season and will probably close in the middle of October. Reporting in Tooele County, Haley Higgins, Fox 13 News, Utah.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints did not respond to our request for comment. There is no word on when ground will be broken for the new temple.
The New Bridge School in Ogden has unveiled its first book vending machine. It's really cool. Students can get books here, and all they have to do is use tokens that they earn when they hit academic goals. All books are provided through donations as well as school funding.
All right, big changes moving in, and some of the changes start tomorrow. Right now, it's a beautiful day in northern Utah, central Utah too, seeing lots of sunshine and temperatures actually above average. Southern Utah, meanwhile, seeing a few thunderstorms out towards Capitol Reef National Park and also down towards Bryce Canyon area. We will keep these thunderstorms around. You can see some over near Moab through the rest of this afternoon and the evening hours, but once the sun sets, these fizzle out, and then the focus shifts to north, where we're going to have a cold front moving in starting tomorrow. That's going to bring in a drop in temperatures tomorrow and also more clouds and potentially even some rain. So embrace the beautiful weather right now. Hang on to the 80s, because those 80s are going to be getting out of here and leaving us for good. I mean, we're going to be looking at temperatures significantly cooler as we look ahead to the weekend and next week, all of next week. 81 degrees right now. North winds coming in at about 5 to 10. We have 80s all up and down the Wasatch Front. Southern Utah, a little bit cooler thanks to that extra boost in moisture, a little bit of cloud cover. We're in the low to mid 80s in St. George, so not bad there at all. Mid to upper 80s as you head out towards Green River and Moab. This is your hour by hour forecast. So again, tomorrow, the transition day. We start off with sunshine in the morning. It'll be a beautiful start. Temperatures in the middle to upper 50s. We quickly climb into the 60s, and then the clouds increase. Cold air comes from the north, and temperatures will top out only in the low to mid 70s for many areas along the Wasatch Front. The farther north you are, the cooler it's going to be for tomorrow. Thanks to this front that comes in overnight tonight, this is at noon tomorrow. We'll even have the chance for some showers up near the Idaho border, and a slight chance for some showers for the Wasatch Front by tomorrow afternoon. I think most of the day will be dry unless you're up towards Cache County, that area, and Box Elder County. It could be a little wetter even for the beginning of the day. And then overnight Friday night, that front continues to make progress, and by Saturday, we have a front that's lined up right across northern Utah, getting into eastern Nevada. You can see rain coming down, and this is when we could see waves of showers rolling through on and off for the whole day Saturday, making it very wet, bring us a drop in temperatures. By the time we get to Sunday, cool air starts to come in, and snow levels will go from about 9,000 feet to 6,000 feet, bringing a dramatic drop in temperatures. Keeping those showers focused across northern Utah, will be accumulating snow, and we could see active weather sticking around through the early part of next week. Your forecast for tomorrow, temps will start in the 50s, 60s down south for the afternoon, highs in the low to mid 70s, and will top out in the mid 80s in southern Utah. Your 7-day forecast for southern Utah, temperatures will go to the 70s starting Sunday, and we'll keep 70s in the forecast through early next week. In northern Utah, we'll be looking at much cooler temperatures here, highs in the 50s starting Sunday. We'll have shower chances on and off through early next week, and overnight lows dropping to the 30s for several nights in a row.
It's coming down to the wire for Real Salt Lake and their playoff push. Falling to LA Galaxy last night, a quick turnaround for Sunday's game against Houston. Interim head coach Freddie Juarez says they made uncharacteristic mistakes that they need to fix.
We thought the talk in the locker room was we could up the tempo even a little more. And, I think 10 to 15 minutes there at the beginning of the second half, we didn't do that. The first goal, Aaron trips, and the second goal, guy savvy pokes it out, and that creates a second. Uncharacteristic. We don't see that very often from our guys, and it happened tonight in a very important game. But what can we do about it? Learn from it. We have players that can step in and make sure that we have a team that can put out the effort on Sunday, and they're going to have to. It's a must. It's a must win for us.
Here's where RSL stands after falling last night to LA Galaxy. The top 4 teams have clinched a playoff spot. Galaxy clinching that last night with the win at Rio Tinto. And with just 2 games left, Real is 2 points from being passed by Portland and Dallas, but 3 points from solidifying a playoff berth. They face Houston on Sunday, which should be an easy add to the win column.
Okay, more points for RSL. Thanks,
yes,
Andrea.
Please. Oh my gosh.
Thursday Night Football is next right here on Fox 13.